Colombo, the other game of the weekend, Cowboys and Dolphins. Now, it feels like there's more questions, narratives about these two teams. You know, Cowboys can't win on the road or on the grass, and the Dolphins haven't beat any good teams, are kind of the narratives that you hear. How do you feel about that game, and which team are you more confident about moving forward?
You know, I think both teams are situational based. I'm more confident about Miami because of their defense. I think Fangio does such a good job defensively. He makes it hard on the opponent. Now, look, Tennessee scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. So, you know, they've had their moments where they've let down. But for the most part, they're so good. They're so well coached. And offensively, when they can run the ball, when they limit the amount of third downs they get into, they play Canadian football better than anybody. When they have less than 10 third downs in a game with their offense, they're hard to stop because they're making big plays. So I have more confidence in them. What I worry about Dallas is when they go on grass, they're not the same team. They're not as fast. And then Dallas, and I've been saying this, their defense hasn't been as good as we all think it is. It's a defense that has to play from in front. They've played 90 less plays this year than their offense, their defense. And that's good. For me, one of the things I truly believe in, to play good defense in the NFL, you have to play less defense. The offense has to carry the load. So their offense has had the ball for 32 minutes. In this game, I kind of feel like they'll struggle with Miami. You know, Ramsey's a elite cover guy. And a lot of this game is going to come down to the offensive line of Miami. Are they going to play? They have a lot of guys hurt. Same thing with Dallas. Tyron Smith might not play, and that's going to hurt it. So I think both these teams have liability. I don't think either one can get to the Super Bowl because of those liabilities, but I trust Miami more because their defense is sounder.
Mike McCarthy said that Zack Martin is ahead of Tyron Smith, who has a back. Zack Martin actually quad during game last week, missed game. He said he's ahead of schedule for Tyron Smith, who has a back, also got hurt in the game last week. Those are a couple massive pieces to that offensive line and that offense that obviously is going to have to go. A lot of people bringing up the fact that the Cowboys are front runners, you know. Like, hey, they're not bad whenever they're buzzsaw, but whenever they get, I think Bart Scott said this morning, this is how it's always been. Cowboys are front runners, but if you come and punch them in the mouth, they can't handle it. I don't believe that because I believe
I don't either.
I don't believe that at all. But I'm just saying that is the narrative about that Cowboys team, and it's like I guess we'll find out here as the games go on. Like Mike McCarthy, I think during this season as it's gone on, a lot of us have been like, Mike McCarthy's going to be coaching Cowboys forever.
Yeah, he's back.
And then imagine if I don't think this is going to happen. I still believe in Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
Absolutely.
Okay, I still believe in them. But there's people who have completely given up hope on them. If they take a downward spiral and don't win a playoff game and it ends bad, like that conversation's right back, right? And I mean, that Mike McCarthy conversation is all the way back in Dallas. Would it not be?
Yeah, I don't see how it could be. Dak's having almost an MVP season. And I think you got to figure out why are they not as effective. I think one of the reasons they struggle on the road is their offensive line has not played as well on the road. You watch the Philly game that they lost. They have a chance 1st and 5 at the 6-yard line and turn steel camp block Hassan Reddick, and they basically give up a sack, and the next thing you know, it all falls apart. Look up in Buffalo. But he was under constant pressure. The line hasn't been to the same level on the road as has been at home, and I think that affects them. And I think they do miss that Zeke Elliott piece to make Pollard a better player. Pollard averaged 9.5 yards per reception last year in the passing game. This year he's down to 5.6. They don't get those explosive plays out of him because he's now the bell cow, right? We always think when a great player shows up and plays 20 plays that if he plays 40, he's going to be doubly great. When in reality, he won't be. He'll be less effective because he's playing too much. So I think there's some circumstances that are not related to Mike McCarthy, which I think Jerry would understand. Look, why would you want to change offenses is with Dak playing as well as he's playing, knowing you got to redo Dak's contract?
Hey, I'm on Big Mike's side all the time.
Yes.
I like Big Mike. I like the way he operates. But with the Dallas Cowboys, that's how the conversation always goes. So we need them to continue to go how they've been going all season because I became a pseudo Dallas Cowboys fan on First Take pretty much for about 7 weeks straight where they were just, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a good football team. I still believe it. Let's go, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
Let's go, Big Mike.